Hey guys, Solomon here. I hope you are having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you what not to play in the opening. And this opening that I'm going to be telling you not to even think about playing at all is considered the Ware Opening. Let's look at the position. Okay, so we're starting out the game as white. This move of A4 is considered the Ware Opening. And before we get into why this, doesn't do a lot of things that other moves could, what does this move do that is considered good? Well, I guess you could argue that this move makes some space on the queen side. It attacks the square of b5, which is on black side of the board, and it gives this rook a little bit more breathing room. Okay, that's really all I have to say about why this move could be considered somewhat beneficial. Okay, and even some of those things that I stated, I don't even think they're very practical, right? Because we can push this pawn down all we want at this point in the game without sufficient development and space already created. That pawn's just going to become a big old juicy target for our opponent to attack. On top of that, guys, our rook at this point in the game, our rook ain't going to do nothing. It's just going to get chased around, right? Rooks are better later on in the game when the stuff's opening up. There's more space. Rooks have a hard time in closed positions with a ton of pawns on the board. Okay, so A4 in a lot of ways really is useless, and it's not just useless, it actually hurts our dark square control, specifically the square of b4. Okay, now if you've been studying chess for a while, you probably know that we should fight for central control, right? If you're just starting to play the game of chess, I would recommend this move of e4 to start things out. Okay, just a classical move, a solid option. You're putting pressure on d5 and f5, which are both two central squares, and you're allowing your queen and your bishop to get into this game and become more active, right? We want to fight for the center, and there's a lot more options for white that are obviously very good, but this move of a4 is just not one of them. Okay, this does not help us. Now, a move like a3 with the Anderson opening, I'm actually kind of a fan of this move. It protects b4. We can play b4 whenever we want. We can play a move like e3 and then d4 or e3 and then c4 and start to make some expansion happen. But y'all, a4 just doesn't help us expand at all with a move like b4. And in fact, black here, let's just say they play a move like e5. Y'all, b4 is very well attacked by black here. Okay, if we play a move like c3, I mean, first off, black could just continue taking control of the center, which is not what we want, especially with pawn structure like this. But okay, I mean, let's just say we play c3 and we see something like d5. Y'all, b3 is going to become very weak, right? Because when you move both your a pawn and your c pawn, in that kind of instance, b3 for the rest of this game is not going to be defended by a white pawn. Now, this might not seem very important now, but as the game progresses, if I'm black, I am going to keep my eye on this square and see if I can make this a potential outpost, right? Pawns are the fence line of chess, and you can't move them backwards, so every move you make matters a ton. All right, let's say we play a move here like e4. Okay, black plays knight f6. If we play something like d3, black plays d5, just breaking this center open. That doesn't look like a ton of fun. If we play knight c3, black drops the bishop here, and guess what? This bishop ain't going nowhere. This bishop's here to stay for a while, right? Because we don't have a pawn on a2. We can't just kick it out, right? This pawn's already here. This bishop's feeling very comfortable. Okay, if we play something like knight f3, black just keeps developing. Okay. I just don't see how this move helps us, right? Again, you can make it work, but how does this help us? I just don't see it. Okay, let's just say you keep making space, quote unquote. Well, okay, now you have a bishop attacking it, a queen that is, potentially looking at it if the c pawn moves with a move like c6, which if I was black, I probably would just play that and just literally attack it right away. On top of that, at some point, a knight could come in and also attack it, right? So there's just a lot of issues with pushing a pawn that far this early in the game, especially on the edge of the board. But yeah, this is just not a great position for white. Why would we want to start this thing off with a4? Okay, now going back, let's say we see e5 and we take a different approach. We play something like e3. Okay, let's say black develops their knight, right? Let's say we start fighting for central control. Let's say black develops their knight. Whole idea being if we take this pawn, the knight captures back. Right? If we play knight out, black starts chasing us around. Let's say we try to chase black around. Black can play knight b4, and this knight is feeling very secure in its spot because there's no pawn on a2. Right? This pawn is on a4. Right? So this knight is feeling pretty solid. I mean, if we want to kick it out, cool. They're just going to take a pawn, which we don't want. If we defend the pawn, again, this knight is here to stay. This pawn can't kick it out. This pawn can't kick it out at the moment. Black can keep putting pressure on that central pawn. If we defend it, black can take, just keep taking, throw in a little check against our king, while also attacking our knight. If we want to save this guy, we got to bring it right back. And at that point, there's quite a few different moves that black can play here that are pretty good. I mean, bishop b4 again, very solid square for that minor piece. I mean, double battery ram against that knight, d5 taking space, the knight's pinned. Black can even play this move b5. The computer was recommending this, crazy idea. You would think that a4 would at least kind of stake out that square. And in a sense it can, but in this case, I mean, if white takes, thanks for the rook, right? And if we take with the knight, oh wait, we can't, right? Because the knight is pinned to the king. So we can't even take this pawn either way. And let's say we play something like bishop d2. Okay, black starts chasing us around, centralizes their queen. This just doesn't look like a whole ton of fun. Okay, so moral of the story, don't play a4. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well as hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything coming your way. On top of that, I wanted to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters for the month of October in 2023. We have some recently added benefits, and I would love for y'all to join the team. I'll see y'all in the next one.